Episode -5, Escape from Paducah. On war-ravaged Samu, the bastards run afoul of infamous crime boss Timo the Terror. Trapped in the tiny spaceport of Paducah, the bastards have no choice but to steal their ship out of impound and flee Timo's wrath. Unfortunately, local Imperial authorities have already sold their space bird to feared bounty hunter Angola Rex. As the bastards flee through humid and ruined Paducah, Timo's thugs are closing in. Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard, Kyle.
I'm Todd.
I'm Corey.
I'm Austin.
Today we're playing Star Wars, returning to our previous characters. All our Star Wars games are purely episodic, so if you have not heard any previously, it does not matter.
It kind of does at this point.
Does it?
Yeah, we keep saying that, but like there has been a story to unfold.
There won't be in this one.
Most of
Okay.
it about the limbs Mickey is missing.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody has not a hero. You guys are not heroes.
Absolutely not.
You're members of scum and villainy.
And this is not the same game system that we were previously playing. This one is called Star Wars Edging to the Empire.
Close. So close. Yeah, previously we were playing the D6 Star Wars system from West End Games. It was the original Star Wars RPG that came out in the early 80s. We are going to be playing tonight the Star Wars Edge of the Empire system that was created by Fantasy Flight Games. Early 20-teens, I think, is when that came out. Now it is published by Edge Studios, which is a division of Asmodeus.
So are those different versions of Edge of the Empire? Did they change anything when?
The rules have not changed. Just
Okay.
the owning company changed.
Yeah,
But the rules are totally
the
the
other
same.
one was just all D6s, and this one's wacky.
Correct.
It's definitely not D6s.
Yes, the other was all D6s. This one uses funky dice. Let me explain that real briefly. So, in most role-playing, all role-playing games generally, there's probably some exceptions, but you roll a number of dice to overcome an obstacle, right? I want to hit the orc with a sword. In Dungeons & Dragons, you roll a d20. In Star Wars Edge of the Empire, you will roll a pool of dice that are dependent on your character's abilities. So for Austin's character, let's say he's going to shoot an Imperial Stormtrooper. He's going to use his agility and his agility attribute and his ranged light skill, and he's going to build a dice pool from those core components of his character, if that makes sense.
So instead of Kyle coming up with an arbitrary difficulty number that we have to reach, basically the success or failure of our attempt is self-contained in the die roll.
That's also true. So there's positive and negative dice. So the positive dice would come from the character, and the negative dice come from the situation. Like maybe the Stormtrooper has some armor, or it's a long-range shot. And when Austin, for example, is rolling, he's rolling all those positive dice and negative dice at the same time, and then looking at the result and to figure out what happens.
So for example, Kyle, if I am trying to shoot someone with a blaster, my agility characteristic is 3.
Right. So
That means the total number of skill dice that I'm rolling is 3.
yes.
My ranged light skill is 1. So of the 3, I'm rolling 2.
Ability dice. Yeah. So your agility would give you 3 ability dice, and then your ranged light turns one of those into a proficiency die.
Okay, so then I've got these 2 8-sided die and 1 12-sided die.
Yeah, and the 12-sided is the proficiency die. It's generally got more cool stuff on it. You want to roll as many of those as you can.
Yeah, and these don't have numbers on them. There's symbols,
Yes,
There's
correct.
successes and advantages.
which we'll post on social media, by the way.
Yeah. So all of those are good results, but
Yes.
I'm trying to shoot someone with a blaster, so I'm assuming there's some sort of difficulty.
Yeah, let's say that guy's at medium range, so that's difficulty 2, so that adds 2 difficulty dice.
Okay, so that's 2 of these purple 8-sided die.
And those can roll things like failures, which will negate any successes you roll. They can roll things like threat, which are just bad things that can happen to you independent of success or failure. But let's say there's smoke on the battlefield, so you'd add a setback. Those are black D6s,
Okay.
which can make things even worse for you. But this guy is even more dangerous. He's Special Stormtrooper Tim. Tim the Wrathful.
Hey.
And so we upgrade one of his difficulty dice to a challenge die, which means Austin would swap out the purple D8 for a red D12. The challenge die are the worst die you can add into your dice pool. It has more failures and more threat on it, and it also has the despair, which if you roll a despair, it counts as on one failure and then the despair, which the despair is something, it's the worst possible thing that could happen, right?
So basically, the symbols on these bad die we're talking about is like the Imperial symbol.
Yes.
And then the other one kind of looks like a thong.
Yeah, that's the Thong of Doom.
Is that what Sheev Palpatine is wearing?
Yeah.
Is that why he's so angry?
Yeah, it's under the...
Nobody explained like boxer briefs to him?
Look, man, those robes don't breathe. He needs maximum flesh space.
The name Palpatine, when translated, means whale tail.
It means they keep falling out.
So then there's a certain number of positive die and a certain number of negative die that you roll anytime you make an attempt at anything, really.
Yeah, the
Yes.
positives have different, again, just two symbols, and some sides of the die have nothing on them, which I assume is probably not what you want in
Yes.
a lot of cases. There's like a POW sign, is that correct? Like a Batman, like a POW.
Yeah,
There's
that's
that.
the success symbol. Yeah, it's basically like a explosion or a Batman kapow.
Yeah, and the other one is essentially like the rebel symbol, but if you turn it upside down, it kind of looks like Ice-T and Tank Girl going, ooh.
I think it is supposed to be the rebel symbol. I think that's... there's also the triumph symbol, which is on the proficiency die, the yellow D12s.
The 70s band?
The best result. And if you remember the classic Star Wars New Hope movie poster where Luke is holding a lightsaber and it's doing this like weird shiny sword thing.
Yeah, where like Leia's hanging onto his calves.
Yeah.
It's
like
that
a little starburst coming off the lightsaber. That's this symbol.
That's that symbol. Yeah, so if you roll that, that's the best thing you could roll.
So then, Kyle, I'm going to do a test roll of all these, and we're going to say I'm trying to fire a blaster at somebody at mid-range in a smoky field. Well, it is a very, very, very bad roll.
Shocking.
So between the bad die, I rolled one failure.
Yeah, so the first thing you can do, the easiest thing to do is just take any blanks and move those away.
So I got one blank.
So that's just gone.
And then I've got, now the thong symbol is...
The failure.
Failure.
The black triangle is a failure.
Yeah. And then I've got three...
In what world?
I've got 3 threat. One of my ability die came up with a success and advantage.
Okay.
And then my skill die, proficiency die, came up with 2 more advantage. So what I wind up with is 1 failure, 3 threat, 3 advantage, and 1 success. So I've literally tied across the board.
That means everything cancels out. It's a wash. You failed.
Great.
Because you have no successes left with which to succeed.
And I'm left with absolutely no surprise. But Mickey has a skill in this new version of the game called Second Chances.
Oh, that's right.
Once per encounter, you can re-roll a positive dice equal to your rank. So I have a rank 1 in Second Chance. And so that means I'm going to take the blank result on the ability die that came up, and I'm going to re-roll that and see if I can't get something else. So I got 2 more advantage.
Okay, so what this would mean is that overall you failed the test because you have no successes, but you have 2 advantage. So that means there's some beneficial outcome independent of whether or not you hit or miss shooting at the stormtrooper.
Okay, so even if I didn't do damage to this target, maybe they stopped shooting at one of my buddies.
Or it could
Or
be
maybe
something.
somebody watching goes, wow, he looked really cool.
Yeah, it could be. He could do something like, somebody sees me and it looks really cool, or he's shooting at this stormtrooper. It distracts him enough for Farnar to get close and club the dude with a mallet, and if that could even turn into bonus dice that Farnar gets.
Excellent.
So it just depends on what's going on.
So very different than what we've played up to this point.
Very
a little
But
bit.
it's the same characters, but Kyle was kind enough to convert them for us.
Yeah,
And his handwriting is really nice.
Thank you.
It's immaculate.
It's very
So
easy
there's
to read.
there's like 6 characteristics.
Yeah.
Like brawn, agility, which I think is similar in the other one. There's just like not 1,000 things underneath every one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower, and presence.
It's a little bit like some of the 2D20 systems we've played in that you can mix and match any of the skills and attributes. Like generally brawl and brawn are going to go together, but it's not specifically required. Like if there was some situation in which it made sense to roll agility with brawl, you could do it.
Or, for instance, Lance has Streetwise.
Yep.
And
You could brawn somebody with that.
you could brawn somebody with that. You could also intellect or cunning someone with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
think,
look at Gene Hackman in The French Connection.
Sorry, Todd. This is Star Wars. You can't challenge someone to a game of riddles.
We've got wounds. Is that essentially our hit points?
that's hit points.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have soak. If you listen to Conan, like my soak as a big boy Wookiee is 5. So if I was taking 6 damage, that would soak it to 1 damage.
That's right, yeah. And there's 2 kind of hit points in this game. There's wounds, which is physical injuries, and strain, which is mental stress,
Strain,
fear.
or if you eat too much cheese and
Yeah.
you're having trouble pooping.
If you're backed up, if you're clogging up the toilet of the space bird.
Yeah, that happens to old Farnar.
So, in case you haven't listened to our previous Star Wars episodes, Todd is playing.
I am Protocol Droid LANC3, better known as Lance. He is a smuggler, and his specialization is Charmer. He wears a black bowler hat, a black collarless shirt, and black pants. Yes, he's a droid who wears clothes.
And he's clear.
He's clear.
He's translucent.
Totally
translucent.
translucent. You can see like everything that's going on inside.
A regrettable choice, really.
All the anguish.
Hence the black clothing.
Corey, who are you playing?
Playing Farnar. He's a Wookiee. He's a technician and a mechanic.
He's a bit southern.
Yeah, he comes from southern Kashyyyk. Which, if you listen,
Which we've all been to.
yeah,
now.
we've all been there.
Austin?
Well, I'm Mickey Fructose, a.k.a. Bones, a.k.a. Legoless, the smuggler gambler.
Mickey has gotten injured in every episode, I think.
How many limbs? You're missing both legs now, is that right?
I'm down to the one real one.
Leg?
Yeah,
What about your arms?
they're both gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys are on the planet Somu in the spaceport of Paducah. Things have gone wrong. You've run afoul of a local gangster, Timo the Terror, who's mad at you. Your ship was impounded by the Empire.
The space bird.
The space bird sold to a bounty hunter. Yeah.
That never doesn't just charm the shit out
It's
of
a
me.
good fucking name.
of our
Great name. Yeah.
Great name.
And you guys are imperiled. You stumble down a short flight of stairs into a Katina's shadowy common room. The cool air is a blessed relief from the soaking humidity of Paducah. The Deveronian bartender pauses in his chores to stare at you. On a stage against the far wall, a Twi'lek woman dances to recorded music. Private booths line the walls. A few patrons turn to glance your way.
Ooh, what are their names?
Flitz and Flop.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought maybe it was.
What level did they sign up at?
Yeah.
On patreon.com/bastardquest.
The only other exits you see from this cantina are what looks to be a storage closet in one corner and a doorway behind the dancing Twi'lek. You only have a few moments before Timo's thugs come charging down the stairs behind you. What do you guys do?
Hey, listen up, gents. Really quick before we go, I've been meaning to tell you, I've downloaded a variety of different voices that I can use in different situations,
Oh, God.
including a voice that sounds like this. Let me go talk to the Twi'lek, and
Hey.
I will charm her.
Todd, you might want to hold on to some of them voices. We got a lot of games left to play.
Lance, I've been meaning to tell you, you look very different. It's almost like in this new version of Star Wars, you're made of shitty CGI.
How'd you get a red leg? I don't care.
We should go back to all the old episodes and re-record Lance's voice.
Oh, yeah, we will be releasing special editions of all the previous.
Absolutely.
So, Lance is going to go up and talk to the Twi'lek dancer and be like, "Excuse me, but me and my friends would like to go through this door."
The Twilight Dancer is gyrating not very well to the very bad music coming out of the...
Yeah, how does one dance to, what is it called?
Jizz music.
Jizz
Yes,
music.
that is canon in the Cantina in Star Wars. The modal nodes, I believe, is the name of the band, but they're
Correct.
playing Jizz is the
Yeah.
name of the music.
And you can take that directly from the lips of George Lucas.
Look it up.
I'm not
Google
taking
it.
any jizz from the lips of George Lucas.
This place isn't classy enough to have a band. It's just
DJ.
a power droid somebody's converted into a speaker.
He's got iTunes.
Yeah. So do you want to? Are you using charm to
I'm
try
using
to?
charm, yes. I'm using charm and my presence.
Okay. So what's your presence?
1.
So that's gonna give you. That's gonna give you an ability die, a green one. Grab one of those. And what's your charm?
Also a 1.
And that's gonna upgrade that green to a proficiency die. So just
Which is essentially what, a 12-sided die? Is that correct?
yeah, it's a
that's the
yellow.
yellow one, correct?
Yeah, the golden yellow.
And greens are 8-sided dies, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, she doesn't know you from Adam. You're a droid. You look weird. This is hard. So that's difficulty 3.
Okay.
So that's 3 purple dice.
Oof.
Which are D6?
D8s.
Those are also
D8s.
D8s.
Yes.
It's also hard to hear because the music is inappropriately loud, even for a bar. So that's a setback. So take a one of the setback black D6s.
Lance has the talent of smooth talker.
Oh, what does that do?
When using charm, I can spend triumph to gain additional success.
Ah, okay. So that means if you roll a triumph on your proficiency die, you can use that triumph to get extra successes.
So essentially what I'm doing, I have one of the good die and 4 of the bad die. However, if I roll a triumph on the good die, then because of my smooth talker talent, what happens?
You could cash that.
Marry this woman.
You marry this woman.
Which isn't even legal in Star Wars. You can't marry a droid.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So a triumph is always worth at least 1 success, and it does something else of benefit. Instead of that something else, you could just say, "I'm going to take that triumph and just get another success."
Okay, cool.
So essentially, it'd be worth at 2. But I mean, you could roll all blanks on the bad dice, and it's
That's
fine.
going to happen. Rolled a 2 advantage,
Yeah, 2 advantage on your good D12.
and then on the other 2 8-sided bad die, I got Empire symbol and a thong, and then the other one.
Let's call that a Cisco.
Okay,
Let me
yes.
see that thong.
Thong. And then on the other one, there's 2 Empire symbols.
Yeah, that's threat.
Yes.
So a total of 3 threat, 1 failure,
And
and
then,
then 2 advantage.
on the black die, the bad black die, I got Empire symbol also 1.
Okay, so advantage and threats cancel each other out.
Okay.
So if you got 2 advantage, that's going to knock out 2 of your threat.
There we go.
Then what are you left with?
On the 8-sided die, the Empire symbol and the thong, and on the black die, the Empire symbol. So 2 Empire symbols, 1 thong.
So 1 failure and 2 threat.
Yes.
So what that means is that you failed. Additionally, something bad happens. So the Twilight Dancer stops, looks down at Lance, and just says, "Ew." So behind Lance, we see this shape, this shaggy, hairy, massive shape, rise up, white fur, big face, mouth full of teeth, not a Wookiee, a Wampa.
Jesus.
Hello.
And he says, "I'm Herc." Don't talk to my girl, droid.
Herc Horseman, Patreon subscriber. Thank you. You will be in every game we play because you have a cool name that fits in with every genre of nerd shit.
And so
Lance changes his voice to Wilhelm scream mode.
which is appropriate because the next thing that Farnar and Mickey see is Lance Wilhelm screaming across the room because a Wampa just chucked him. He slams into the wall, slides down. Todd, you're going to take a wound.
Well, Fonny, I think that's our cue to exit.
Yeah, so there's the door behind the dancer. There's what looks to be a closet. There's the way you came in, which is the stairs, which you can hear a bunch of grunting and shuffling and snorting, pig-like sounds. Timo's Gamorrean thugs coming down that way.
Farnar goes to the Wampa and says, "Hello, my hairy brother in Space Christ. I apologize for our droid. He's a fucking fool. Can we go through that door behind her
What skill are you using here?
hair?"
Hair? Sure.
I guess I'm going to use presence in
Okay.
this situation. Because cunning doesn't... I'm not trying to trick the guy. I'm just trying to be friendly.
Yeah, impress him.
As a hair bro.
Impress him with your coiffed curls.
So I choose
A relevant skill that you... Well, I mean, if you're trying something like Charm, you don't have any ranks in it, then you just roll your presence.
Oh, okay, I see. Can I use perception? I'm trying to, like, get a read on this guy while also kind of keep an alert while bad gentlemen are after us.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So my presence is 2. My perception, I've got one thing marked. What does that mean?
So your presence is 2, so you're going to take 2 of the good D8s, the green ones. If you're using your perception, you have 1 in perception, right?
Correct.
So you're going to upgrade one of those to a gold D12, the good D12.
Okay. So I'm rolling a D8 and a D12 of the good variety.
Mm-hmm. Now, Herc is happy because he abused the droid.
Aren't we all?
And this is Star Wars, so people love messing up droids, apparently.
Right.
It happens in every movie. There's just a random droid being tortured or beaten up.
Yeah.
So he's in a good mood, so it's going to be average difficulty, which is 2. So that's 2 of the bad D8s.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna put a wrinkle in, Corey.
Okay.
So we haven't talked about this, but there's a mechanic in this game called Destiny, and that's a meta currency that moves from players to GM and back and forth. I've got 5 dark side Destiny points, and I'm going to spend one of those to make your life harder. So I'm going to upgrade one of your difficulty dice to a challenge die, to a red, bad D12. Now, the benefit to you guys is that you get to add a light side Destiny point into your pool.
Oh, okay.
And you're
Got
good.
it.
You're ready to roll. So you're rolling what?
I'm rolling a good D12, a good D8, a bad D8, Jesus, and a bad D12, right?
Yep.
So what am I going for here?
You want to get more of the successes on the positive dice than failures on the negative ones.
Okay. So if I get more successes, I win,
Correct.
and we all go home.
Yeah, you win the game and it ends immediately.
And we get rich, and we become the new emperor,
Yeah.
but a nicer one. Okay, so on my good dice, I got 2 of the Kapow symbols,
okay,
one
those-
iced tea tank girl,
Yeah. So those are successes. The
and then
Kapow's are
2
successes.
space buttholes.
So 2 threat, 1 advantage, and 2 successes.
Okay.
So one of the threats is going to cancel your 1 advantage.
Okay.
But you have 2 successes and 1 threat is your final result, correct?
Okay. Yes. So I'll win.
So you succeed. So Herc grunts, looks around. I like the cut of your jib, Wookie. Melinda, get off the stage!
Melinda. The least Star Wars name of all time. We've discovered it. Should Herc's name be Brent? Brent Melinda. I thought Tim was a bit much.
Melinda.
I mean, the protagonist is Luke.
True.
It's not like he spent all day coming up with that one.
Yeah. I'm going to use my name and remove the ass.
Now, you have some threat, though. You have, what, 2 threat left?
1 threat.
1 threat.
remaining.
Yeah, what does that mean?
You get cancer.
Jesus Christ.
But it's space cancer.
This
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
version of Star Wars is way more intense.
But it's a Wookiee leukemia. It's not as serious. It's like feline leukemia, essentially.
It's just something you take aspirin for
Yeah,
when you're a
It's
Wookiee.
fine.
So, in this case where you succeed but you have a threat, it means there's a bad outcome, a negative event unrelated to your success.
Okay.
So Herc's going to let you go through the stage door
Thank you kindly,
to
Herc.
go backstage.
Just him?
I've got a +2.
Yeah. Well, okay. So in this case, like you wouldn't want to use as a GM if you're going to run this game, you wouldn't want to use the threat to say, oh, it's only the Wookiee, because that basically negates what the player was trying to do.
Sure.
Which is to get the whole group out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the implied intent. So you could do...
So basically, what I'm going to say is like I had strings tied to my waist that Mickey and Lance are holding like toddlers walking through Disney World.
Got us on children leashes.
Yeah. So you don't want to take away the player's intent in this kind of a system with a threat. So it need to be something like, so Herc could say, he could demand a bribe.
Mickey gets hurt.
He slaps Mickey just because. But in this case, you climb up on the stage, shuffling through the door to backstage.
And literally shuffling, so we look like we're part of the act. Shuffle.
You just get
The
it,
Three Stooges walking in a line.
and you can hear the Gamorreans, charging down the stairs to the cantina. Yeah. You just get the stage door closed. It's a stressful situation. Farnar takes a strain because he has to literally carry Mickey and Lance the last few feet to get them there in time.
Okay.
You're going to take one strain?
Okay, so I have a threshold of 9 strains, so that's my max, right?
Correct.
Now I have 1.
Yeah, so if you get up to 9, you fall unconscious.
Jesus.
Farney, why are you carrying me?
So there's only one set of footprints, so they can't. They can't find us.
What a wonderful reference. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
And as he's carrying us through the door, Lance looks at Herc and says, "Thank you, Herc. I appreciate it. By the way, Farnar, I downloaded your voice too."
I rip out his throat.
I'll allow it.
That's racist. I'm just telling you.
The galactic equivalent of Wookiee blackface.
Hair face is what they
Hair face. Toupees are an insult to Wookiees.
fake mustaches, anything really.
Yeah.
Toupees are Wookiee exploitation.
You come in here with your extensions, mocking
I
my
don't care
people.
if you got alopecia or not. You are not wearing them fake eyebrows around me, son.
So the bastards are backstage. There's a bunch of old costumes that clearly nobody's worn anymore. Stacked up broken chairs. You guys make your way through that, out into the alley, and disappear into the streets of Paducah before Timo's thugs can run you down.
As they pass through, Mickey grabs one of the old outfits off of
Okay.
the rack.
It's a salsa dancer.
Carmen Miranda is a fruit helmet.
It's the Star Wars equivalent, which according to Luke is it's a salsa dancer. You just add a new vowel.
Yeah.
Dibs on the Space Jesus Christ Superstar robe.
Lance puts on a costume from Cats.
They have the butthole.
Really quick before we go any farther, Farnar, I would like to apologize if I appropriated your culture. I am very sorry. I will delete your voice immediately.
Apology accepted.
Are you saying you're worried about heritage?
I'd get that joke, and I hate it.
So you guys need to get back to the Spacebird to get off planet, or you could get off planet some other way. But
No,
you're
I want the Space Bird
The
back.
Space Bird is impounded by the Empire, correct?
That's
I
right.
love that ship.
The Empire impounded the Spacebird because of unpaid parking fees, and they sold it.
It's got a space boot on it.
Yeah, you heard they sold it to a bounty hunter named Angola Rex.
There's nothing I'd like more than to be back in the cockpit of the old Space Bird. I say we go and do whatever it takes to get her back.
Here, here.
I love that ship. It's already got my smell in it. I like that.
Can you imagine sharing a shower with a Wookiee long term?
I've been married before. I know what it's like. Just clumps of hair every
Just
time.
raking the
is
hair
true.
out of the drain every
Like, how
time
do
you
have
shower.
any hair left?
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm
weird.
pretty sure we're all in agreement.
Okay, so
Time to catch that bird.
Space Bird.
So basically, we need to track down that bounty hunter.
well, you left the Spacebird in Landing Bay B25 is where you left it. Whether or not the bounty hunter moved it from there, you don't know. So you could check out the landing bay. You could start tracking down Angola Rex, or you could do something else.
Lance is going to use his streetwise and cunning to see if he can find someone who could lead them to Angola Rex.
All right, so start building your dice pool.
Okay,
So your cunning is the core. That's going to be your green dice. How many of those you get?
that's a 1.
What's your streetwise?
So my streetwise is 2.
Okay. The way this would work is your streetwise would convert that one green D8 into a gold, and then your second rank would give you another green one.
So,
So I've
from
got
a
a
D8
yellow-
into a D12, or essentially.
Yep.
So I have 1d12 and 1d8.
Positive.
The good ones.
The good ones, yeah. Yeah, I think this will be average difficulty, so that's two of the bad D8s.
All right, fellas, just give me a second. I'm going to do like one of those droid things where I just kind of look around and see if I can find someone who could lead us to this Angola Rex bounty hunter fellow.
Classic droid thing.
On the good dice, I got a pal and 2 iced teas in Tank Girl.
I got a pal and a tank girl.
Dat boy, iced tea, and Tango.
And then on the bad die, I got 3 Imperial buttholes.
So you got a success, 2 advantage, and 3 threat.
Yes.
So 2 of those threat are going to cancel out your 2 advantage. You're going to be left with a success and 1 threat.
Yes.
Lance has a long-time acquaintance that is on the planet Somu. It's a protocol droid, but he's lately been working as a flight controller in the command and control station. His name is BA-11, Ball. He hates being called Ball.
Named after a Patreon subscriber.
Yeah, named after Patrick Ball, Patreon subscriber. Patrick
Thank you,
Ball.
Patrick Ball.
Thank you,
Patrick.
BA-11.
That's a pretty damn creative use of a Patreon name.
Yeah,
I just want
no.
to say, I hope you're getting your money's worth there, buddy. That's
Guess
why
we'll
you pay.
see as
Thank
the
you.
scene plays out.
Yeah.
So
His head explodes.
you'll be able to find BA-11 in the Paducah Command and Control Center. And he would know where your ship was sent or currently is, most likely if it's still on the grounds.
Okay, so I did that droid thing, that I do.
Yeah, we've seen it. It's weird. I don't know
buddy-
why you got to plug in through the groin.
Like, there's no internet in Star Wars, but there is like a private intranet.
It's a port. You can just stick it in there and get information.
I hate that weird 90s modem sound. It makes.
I like to think Lance was connected to a wall for a while, just going, ball, ball's here.
Hey, it made people walk away from us. That's another bonus.
All right, so an old droid buddy of mine by the name of BA-11. Do not call him Ball.
Ball.
No. Oh, Farnar, do not do that.
Oh, sorry.
It's a BA-11. He works at control center of all that does all the space. It's kind of like an air traffic controller kind of thing if we were on Earth.
You mean controls all the aircraft?
You mean
Exactly.
somewhere far, far away?
Exactly.
Okay.
If anybody can find Angola Rex and the Space Bird, it's BA-11.
Well, let's find that droid.
Ball.
So the spaceport control facility is a low squat building that's just stuck on the edge of the bluff overlooking the river. There's a large front entrance that's open. It's one of those Star Wars entryways where there's just no door, right? Mm-hmm. Because Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No rails.
Yeah, nothing,
Yeah.
no. So however, there are 2 security droids standing at attention out front.
Hello there, droids. We're trying to gain access to the Space Discovery Center.
Hold on, Mickey. I'm going to try one of my new voices. Hello, my name is LANC3, Protocol Droid. I am here to visit with my friend BA-11.
Ball.
Roger, Roger.
Oh, damn. These are prequel droids.
Roger. Do you have a hall pass?
No, but they got 2 meat people with them that are better than y'all, so but thank you. Have a good day.
No hall pass, but like he said, I do have a Wookiee.
So are you guys going to try to use intimidation from Farnar to get them to stand aside?
I would imagine so.
Mickey's going to take a swipe at cunning.
Hey,
Go on.
if you lose a limb to a fucking prequel battle droid,
I'll try to make it just like a hand or something.
That's just part of the journey, my friend.
All right, what is Mickey doing?
So Mickey's going to flip out a single card from his sabacc deck
Go on.
and kind of sidle past these droids as he never stops talking. Just like, you, my friend, you droid, I think you could be on the stage somewhere. You could be a star one day.
So you're just
We're going to find our friend and talk to him, but when I come back, you're going to call me on that card 2 days from now, not 3, 2 days from now, and we're going to make you a star. So keep your chin up and that hair down.
You're just fast talking them.
I'm really just double talking him, yeah.
Okay, and what skill?
I don't know. Let's see.
I think deception.
the old planner master.
Absolutely.
Austin.
Never goes in unprepared.
I think deception is the obvious choice.
Yeah, deception's the big one. I've got 3 in that.
So
I just like the fact that he's walking past a pair of droids telling them he's going to make them stars.
Yeah, which has never happened.
Like Simon Cowell in space.
okay. So for difficulty, they're idiots. They're idiots. So
Okay.
that's just difficulty 1.
They couldn't beat the Gungans.
But
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna
that-
spend a dark side destiny
Okay.
and upgrade that to a challenge die.
Okay, so that's a red one.
Yeah, because while they are idiots, they do understand that certain people aren't supposed to go in and out of here.
However, that also gives us a
It does give you a light side destiny.
light side destiny.
All right, so I'm rolling 3 good D12s and 1 bad one. So I rolled on the bad die. I got 1 failure and 1 threat. On
Okay.
the good die, I got 5 successes and 1 advantage. So I've got a total of 4 successes.
After Farnar, Mickey, and Lance are inside, they pull the doors closed behind them, and the 2 droids are just standing there. One of them's holding a card. They look at each other. I don't have a phone. Oh, I don't think you're gonna be a star then. And the droid's head just lowers. Roger, Roger.
Cut to inside. You're welcome, fellas.
So you guys are inside. It's mostly droids. There's a couple of Ugnaughts, the little pig people from Bespin, working around. And you see BA-11, a big blue protocol droid, standing on a raised dais, screeching at someone in binary. And this other, 2 astromechs are screeching back, and they're just yelling at each other, going... Yeah.
Lance goes to walk up to BA-11, and as he does, he kicks an Ugnaught because protocol droids hate fucking Ugnaughts.
It's true. They fucked 3PO up.
Yep, that's canon. I say there, BA-11. How goes it, old friend?
He turns around in that stuttering, weird way protocol droids do. Oh, hello, LANC3.
We seem to have found ourselves in quite the pickle. This is my friend Mickey and my Wookiee friend Farnar.
Hey, ball.
And a bounty hunter by the name of Angola Rex has stolen our space bird. I was wondering if you could tell us where it might be.
Oh, I don't know why I would do that. That asshole called me Ball. I heard you, Wookiee. I am BA-11.
Yeah, which spells ball.
He looks at Lance, looks back at Farnar, looks at Mickey.
Did I say the Wookiee was my friend? I misspoke. No, the Wookiee is our prisoner.
You came to my birthday party. Not to mention life day. You met my granny.
Yes, and he's just asking where he would like his next punishment. And Mickey does that thing where he backhands Farnar in the crotch.
Jesus.
Farnar turns to Mickey, grabs him by the ear, and rips his fucking ear off.
Farnar and Mickey are assaulting each other to one side, and BA-11 turns to Lance. Why do you hang out with these stupid meat sacks? Look at them. They're like savages.
Look here, Ball. Tell us where our damn ship or that bounty hunter is, or I'm gonna fuck you up, son. I've had a rough time lately. Life Day was wacky. And then we had other adventures, which maybe we'll explore in another episode. But for now, tell us what we need to know, or things are gonna get bad for you and your family. If you have that.
Yeah, thanks a lot there, Farnar. BA11. I apologize for the uncouthness of my friends, but it is vitally important that we find the space bird and get off of this godforsaken planet. If you could hook us up with that in 23 skidoo and this and that.
Now.
So obviously Farnar is using intimidation and Lance is sweet talking. So there's two ways you could do it. One of you will roll and the other can assist. It's just whichever one you want.
All right, so I think the best way to handle this is to have Lance try to charm his way into getting the information with an assist from Farnar, who adds a bit of a threat behind that charm. I guess would be the best way to put it.
Mickey's not really assisting. He's just standing off to the side, now holding an ear trumpet.
Jesus.
He just found one. All right.
He had one just in case. He's also got a glass eye. He's got the golden nose of Tycho Brahe.
He's got a pacemaker.
No, he has one internally already.
I'm sorry for the most niche reference for listeners of the podcast.
Todd, so charm and presence?
Yes. Presence is 1, and then for charm, he also has 1, which is...
Yeah, so you upgrade that green to the gold.
Yes. So I'm just rolling 1 good D12.
And the assist from Farnar.
And that adds an additional 8 eight-sided die.
No, it's a boost die, so that's the blue D6, the good D6.
We haven't rolled one of those yet.
Oh, they're cute. It's baby blue, too.
It is.
BA11 is a protocol droid, which means his will sucks. So it's just difficulty 1. 1 purple die. One bad D8.
1 bad D8.
But there's lots of witnesses, so it's going to be a setback, which is...
But there's nothing but droids in here, right? Is it
Ugnaughts.
Ugnaughts, yeah. Man, nobody trusts them.
So there's a bad D6 as well.
One of Lance's talents and special abilities is called Kill with Kindness. That gives me the ability to remove 1 setback or rank for charm or leadership. And I'm using charm, so I can remove the setback.
Ooh. Yeah, so you can get rid of the bad D6.
Yes.
Ooh.
So I'm rolling 3 die.
That's better than my kill with anger.
Well, I got a blank on my good D12. 2 advantage on the good D6. 2 thongs on the bad.
Hey, Kyle, we haven't addressed this yet, but we've got 2 of the force points or whatever. What are they called?
Yeah.
Light side points? I don't think we've discussed what we can use ours for, if you could explain that.
Yeah, so you can upgrade your die rolls. So you could turn one of the D8s into one of the good D8s into a D12. You could also just add a D8 to your roll.
You have to choose beforehand. You can't change a roll or anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There are no rerolls as far as I know.
Now the thongs are failures or threats?
Failures.
So the black triangles are failures, which you didn't roll any successes anyway.
No.
So those are just kind of discounted. So the roll fails, but you do have 2 advantage. So essentially, BA11 says, I don't know where the Spacebird is. It left port an hour ago, so I can't help you there. But you do have 2 advantage, which means you get some unexpected benefit despite the failure. Okay, so the unexpected benefit could be something... You guys can give me ideas, but it's some unexpected boon that is not going to... It can't negate the failure, but it's of benefit to you.
So, Kyle, let me ask you this. Is it possible to do a roll to introduce an element that has happened before this moment?
Like a flashback?
Yeah, well, not so much a flashback, but like something we can say has happened. This is what I'm saying. Can I say that I have, as a mechanic, done some work on old Lance?
Okay.
To install a tracking device on him and the Spacebird.
A LoJack?
That they're connected to. And this is what I'll say to add like the difficulty rating in your mind or what have you. It's not something Lance can just turn on to track the Spacebird. The caveat here being we have to use like a stronger terminal. It's not something that Lance can just turn on. It has to be like a Imperial terminal port or what have you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've got to have some kind of like. I mean, Lance is a protocol droid. Obviously, he doesn't have a large sensor package.
Right.
He doesn't have radar dishes sticking out of his head.
I just kind of bonded the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would call that's yeah. We can flash back to having done that. Now it will require you to spend one of your light side destiny points.
Okay.
So you could take the advantage from his role with BA-11.
Oh yeah, I just remembered something.
He would let you use the command and control center to plug Lance into it to pick up the space bird.
Okay, so what do I need to roll?
Probably computers and intellect would be the obvious one to me.
Yeah, I was going to say computers and cunning. I'd say cunning because he was thinking ahead.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
if we
fine.
ever end up on that one planet and then we meet a Wampa and Lance pisses off a Twilight girl, like, who knows what could happen?
And this has happened.
Better prepare for this eventuality.
Yeah.
This has happened 7 times. Yeah, so you can roll your cunning and your computers.
Now, Mickey has an intellect of 3. Can I assist Farnar at all?
Yeah, you can. So the way assisting works, like last time you gave him a boost die, because I believe in that instance your stats and skills were relatively the same. So if you use Mickey's intellect, you can take his 3 and your computers and combine those together instead of using your intellect.
Okay.
Or cunning, rather.
Sounds reasonable. Thanks, Kyle.
You're welcome.
Okay, cool. So I've got an intellect of 3.
And what is Farnar's computer skill?
My computers are 2.
So your base is 2 gold or 2 good D12s and 1 good D8. So I'm going to say it's average difficulty. The ship is not that far away.
I can still smell it.
So that's 2 of the bad D8s. But it's always a risk connecting Lance to something as powerful as a command and control center for a spaceport. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade one of your difficulties with this Dark Destiny. So you can add a positive on your side.
Okay.
So
I have 2 good D12 and 1 good D8, a bad D12 and a bad D8. I got 4 Kapals,
wow.
2 iced teas, and 10 girl, 1 Imperial butthole, and 2 Emperor Palpatine's thongs.
You guys really got to start calling them successes. And advantages.
Oh, okay.
It's super confusing.
Okay, sorry.
We got 4 successes, 2 advantage, 2 failures, and 1 disadvantage.
1 threat.
1 threat, yes.
Okay. So the total then would be 2 success and 1 advantage.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Lance is just like in the port grinding up against the wall.
This is why I don't like to do these things.
So,
I can't wait till you're more robot, Mickey, so I can make you. By the way, I'm gonna fix that ear.
Oh, thank you.
So you
Like how
locate.
you're just fine with your ear.
At this
I'm
point, he's
used
probably
to it
used
at
to
this
it.
point.
Yeah. You find the space bird. It's on the planet. It's on Somu, not too terribly far from here. And the advantage is it's not anywhere particularly bad. It's in an abandoned warehouse, which there's a lot. Of course, you can't tell from here who's on it or what they're doing, but it's not that far away, and it's accessible.
All right, Ball. Now give us your car.
I don't have a car. I am BA-11. I'm a protocol droid.
Thanks for nothing there, pal.
I let you hump the wall.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what you humped back on Golo 2. I should have left you there.
Get the hell out of here, Lance. So you guys leave the command and control center. I assume heading towards the space bird.
This has been a real film noir
Absolutely.
episode of Star Wars.
So you guys head across town as quick as you can. Every once in a while, you have to duck into an alleyway to avoid more of Timo's goons. Fortunately, they're Gamorreans. Those guys are idiots. So I'm just going to assume you get past them. You get to the old warehouse. Half the roof is caved in. There's a huge pair of double doors. One of them has been knocked down by blaster fire. This planet was a war zone not terribly long ago. And in the middle of this warehouse, you see the space bird. Landing gear deployed. It apparently set down through the hole in the roof. Running lights are on. The engine's idling. and there's lots of service droids moving around it, and a giant Trandoshan with this big Wookiee skull helmet on his face is standing at the bottom of the ramp, Angola Rex. You assume the Trandoshan is Angola Rex.
Has he noticed us yet?
No, he's pretty occupied with the droid and not paying much attention.
Farnar rushes him. He is not happy about this whatsoever.
Okay, and we're in combat.
That's Grow. I could tell that skull anywhere.
It's your cousin. So combat is pretty simple in this system. Initiative is either vigilance or cool, depending on the situation. In this case, it will be vigilance. Vigilance and willpower.
Okay, so those are under our skills, right? Do we
Yeah.
roll those the same way to where we add one of our
You
characteristics?
do. Now, the difference is that there's no inherent difficulty with initiative. We're just rolling to see who gets the highest.
Gotcha.
So I've got 1 vigilance and 1 willpower.
Same.
Farnar has 1 willpower. He does not have vigilance.
Okay, yeah. So you guys
Hence
just
the rushing.
roll and
So is that just 1d8?
yes.
For you.
Yeah. For Farnar, yeah.
I got 1 advantage.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
Lance got the lightsaber thingy.
Oh, triumph.
He
Triumph.
emerges.
Nice.
His force powers finally manifest
He floats into the air.
and humps the wall.
So you guys are just inside these broken down doors in this dilapidated warehouse. There's water dripping from the ceiling rafters. It smells like mildew and rusted starship parts. Lance, everything's happening in slow motion to you for whatever reason in this moment. Farnar is charging forward. You see the Trandoshan. Angola Rex starts to look up, his eyes widening. He reaches for the blaster on his hip. Mickey's shouting something like he always does. The droids are scattering. What does Lance do?
If you remember, LANC3 has a blaster built in to his arm. It pops out like the Travis Bickle Taxi Driver pistol.
Yeah.
This is Bickle Sickle.
Yeah.
I for one am relieved that you said it pops out of your arm.
For once.
Okay, so that's going to be ranged light, which is generally agility, and makes sense in this case. So
Sure.
you may not have ranged light, so just roll your agility.
Agility is 2.
Yep. So 2 greens, 2 good d8s. You're at medium range, so that's 2 bad d8s as well. And he has armor, so that's a setback, which is a bad d6.
Jesus. On the good die, I got 1 success and 1 advantage. On the D6, I got a blank.
Nice.
Nice.
Imperial symbol is threat, correct?
Okay, yeah, that's threat. So you got 2 threats.
2 threat, 1 advantage, 1 success.
So you're going to succeed, but your 2 threat are going to knock out one of your advantage. You're going to have a threat. So blaster fire arcs across the warehouse. Rex ducks. It's hitting the space bird. How much damage does your blaster do?
That would be 5.
Does 5? Okay. One of the bolts deflects off his Wookiee skull helmet.
Oh, another sin.
And you have a threat, so he's going to focus on you because it's his turn. Angola is rolling 2 of the good D12s, 1 of the good D8s, good D6 because he's aiming, and against medium range, which is 2 of the bad D8s. Lance doesn't have any armor or anything. A bunch of advantage and threats that all cancel out, and he's left with 2 advantage and a success, which means he whips out a heavy blaster pistol, aims it at Lance. It's got a laser dot sight on it. This red glow appears on Lance's chest, quickly followed by blaster bolts. You're going to take 8 damage, 8 wounds.
Oh, shit.
And he's going to burn those advantage to crit you. And he's going to crit, so I'm going to roll D100 dice on the crit table. So it's a 24. That is off balance. So you have a critical injury. Critical injuries stay with you until they're, in Lance's case, repaired. Mm-hmm. So you just write critical injury. This is it's easy to fix.
Colin, how does that work? Where did the off balance? Is there like a damage table or something?
There's a critical injury table that I rolled on. I rolled a 24, which is off balance, and Lance is going to add setback to his next skill check. The only mechanical impact it has, if he takes another critical injury, the roll on the dice is plus 10 for each one. So if I rolled a 24 again,
like rolling on the 100 or
on the D100 table.
Okay.
So if I rolled randomly again, let's say he got critted again, I roll randomly, and I roll a 24 again. Instead, it's a 34, which would be a worse effect.
Okay, so in this case, the damage table is like an ascending thing. It gets
Yes.
worse the higher. Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
So for example, let's say he had a couple of critical injuries, and you guys just never repaired it, and I rolled a 99. He could just instantly die.
It just pops.
Yeah. So I rolled a 99. It says at +5. It's like complete obliterated death. It says.
Well,
So what's your soak?
It's a 1.
Okay. And how many wounds do you have?
Currently, I have 9.
Of
11.
your soak is the edge of a washcloth.
so did you apply your soak to the wounds you just took?
I did not.
Okay, so in that case, that would go down by 1.
Okay, so I'm currently at an 8.
Yeah, practically hale and hearty.
Yeah.
Rex is still firing his blaster, and he's backing up the stairs of the space word. And it is Farnar's turn.
Farnar is so fucking pissed off right now. He's had a rough week, and honestly, ever since Life Day, he's not been in the best of moods.
When his cousin was sacrificed to the evil plant.
Well, no, he's not worried about that. But like seeing Granny like so like feeble, she's only got about like what 60 years left with us.
Yeah,
Like,
not a lot of time.
honestly, like he's been upset. Like he just feels like life is like an entirely different system now. I just feel like we're getting ever closer to the edge of the empire. He confides in his friends too.
Are you trying to get up close and personal with...
I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been barreling, so I think I can reach him in this. Is that correct? How does the movement work in this game go?
So you guys started out at medium range, and so there's range bands in this game. It's close, medium, long,
Okay.
engaged. So starting at medium,
get engaged.
you can move to close, and you could spend 2 strain to take another move and get into engaged.
Farnar's pissed. He's gonna spend 2 strain,
Okay.
which brings me up to 3 strain.
Yeah, so Farnar charges across the floor of this warehouse, droids scattering. Angola Rex is up the landing ramp into the space bird. Farnar charges after him. What do you do?
Farnar is going to use his paws.
Okay.
He has his bowcaster in his paws. He's going to use his paws, which is a brawl.
Yeah, which you have at what, 5?
Yes.
So that's 5 good D8s.
I'm guessing I use my brawn in this.
Yeah, use
which is
brawn.
a 5.
Yeah. So it's going to give you 5 of the ability dice, and you're going to upgrade that to 3 of the proficiencies. So it's 3 good D12s and 2 good D8s. Hand-to-hand melee is always difficulty 2. So you're going to have 3 of the good D12s, 2 of the good D8s, 2 bad D8s, and a bad D6. And he's a dangerous Trandoshan bounty hunter, so I'm going to go and upgrade that with Dark Side Destiny.
Okay, I countered that with one of our own little magic discs of magic and do something bad to you, Kyle
Okay.
Davis.
So take one of those, take one of your light sides.
Just take yours back.
I will, but they don't cancel out. So one of the bad D8s is going to go up to a bad D12.
Okay, so that's a total of 4 threat, 1 failure, 6 successes, and 1 advantage.
So the final would be 3 threat and 5 successes. Yeah, because
If you say so, it's your house.
that's true.
Yeah, that's correct.
So you'll do 10 damage. So you describe your success, and then I'll apply the threat. So you do a lot of damage to this guy.
Okay.
What does that look like?
So he's a Trandoshan, so he's like Bosk for Star
Yeah,
Wars
he's
fans.
a
like,
big lizard man.
if you remember Bosk, he had like a nice little body armor, but I'm pretty sure his midriff was exposed. Is that correct?
God,
I don't know, but
son of a
I
bitch.
think it was.
this guy's definitely is.
Farnar's going for the navel.
Sure.
So he comes in from the side with a slash. He tries to hook his claw into the navel itself, into the belly button for, people in the north. Basically, I hook in from the side, and I tear off a good chunk of skin. And I'm talking, and I'm taller than him, so I can kind of reach around him. So I'm tearing off. I'm basically trying to unspool him, skin-wise. So I'm ripping around. So I grab a chunk of skin and rip it around his left side towards his spinal column, ripping off a good chunk of skin and perhaps a little bit of guts.
Like just the pancreas.
So he's hissing and
Duodenum.
and spitting and grabs your shoulders, and he spins and throws Farnar down the ramp, and you
Down.
land prone at the bottom
Okay.
because that's what the 3 threat does.
Okay.
And it is Mickey's turn.
So while he's throwing Farnar, Mickey's just unloading with that holdout blaster, running toward him, firing it into his face.
Okay, so range attack is pretty easy.
Yeah. So Mickey's got an agility of 3 and a ranged light of 1. So what's the difficulty?
You could run forward in a close range and it'd be 1.
Okay.
You would have to spend, you'd have to get another maneuver to do it, so it'd be 2 strain.
I'm absolutely doing that.
Okay. And he has body armor, so it'd also be a bad D6.
So I'm going to spend one of our light side die to upgrade one of my D8s to another good D12.
Okay.
So then I'm rolling 1 good D8, 2 good D12, 1 bad D8,
Okay.
and 1 bad D6. I rolled 3 successes and 1 threat.
What's the base damage on your gun?
5.
Okay, so you do 8 damage.
Okay.
How do you want to do this?
Am I dispatching him?
Yes.
Oh my God. You guys.
Has this ever happened in
Mickey is killing
any game, Austin?
the big bad.
Oh no!
Yeah, the Trandoshan Angola Rex is coming down the ramp, pointing his blaster at Farnar. It's going to shoot him. Mickey's charging forward.
So as he throws Farnar, Mickey runs up, sliding underneath the flying body of Farnar.
Just hair just wafting over him.
And fires his blaster sideways. That gangster way they do.
Oh,
Okay.
like robbing the Korean grocers in Menace to Society?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
gotcha.
Firing it up into his face, and as he stands up and the Rex falls, he looks up and says, "You're not going anywhere with our Delilah." No one knows, by the way, that Mickey considers this ship Delilah. It's still the Space Bird.
And then Mickey bangs his head on the underside of the ship and takes a strain from the threat. The 3 of you scramble onto the Space Bird, get the ramp secured, get the engines fully torqued up, and take off into space and escape. Vile Paducah.
Well,
That's
that was
it.
fun.
The end. You get 15 XP.
Oh, okay.
So this is your first encounter with the Edge of the Empire mechanics.
So it's complicated.
It is.
bit.
That's a given. But as far as the listener's concerned, all they'll need to know is how many successes we rolled, how many failures, how many threat, how many advantages.
That's right. Any triumph or despair.
Yeah, there's parts I prefer more. Like it's way less like skills to worry about. But man, the wacky dice,
Yeah,
I do not prefer.
I love
It
the
takes
fact that
getting
the
used to.
GM's not just coming up with some arbitrary number we have to hit, though.
No, I get that. Although I respect Kyle, and I expect him to be fair,
That's true.
which is why I
you
have
know-
all my limbs. You continue to critique his GM style, which is why you are losing an ear.
Yeah, I'm adding ear trumpet to my inventory.
Crude ear trumpet. Yeah, so we'll probably play Edge of the Empire at least once or twice more. There's actually other Star Wars systems out there as well.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I mean,
I
I
mean-
guess it's the biggest fucking.
it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's
we'll
huge.
just see what
IP.
else happens, but these characters will prevail.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I guess it's now canon that protocol droids can tap into computer ports
Well,
By
Lance.
humping
in the
them,
most
yes.
disturbing way possible.
I mean, Lance can. He has
Oh,
some
yeah.
non-standard modifications.
Well, he worked for a space pimp, so
Well, thank you to all our Patreon members. A couple of you showed up.
Yeah, Patrick Ball. Thank you.
Hark
Thank you,
Orsman,
Herc Horseman yet again.
Yeah.
who's probably going to be in. Look, if you want to be in all the episodes, just come up with a cool name like Hark Orsman.
yeah, right.
True.
And send us money.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, though I gotta say, converting Patrick Ball into BA-11 is really, that's a very Star Wars
yeah.
Yeah,
take on
totally.
it. So
Thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond. That's at 100 Broadway, downtown Paducah. Like one of the best bourbon collections in the country.
Do not ask them to play jizz music.
they'd probably oblige you.
Brian Shamwell, one of the owners there, is a huge Star Wars fan. So, yeah, that would make his day if someone requested jizz music.
It would not make the bartender's day.
They get that all the time.
But we haven't cracked it open yet, but we have a bottle of their latest barrel pick from Knob Creek. It's a single barrel bourbon. It's called Sunset. It's 120 proof. It's delicious, and it is available now. So go in and get yourself a pour.
Yeah, and you can
so
only get that at Barrel Mine.
Yep.
Like that is a single barrel pick from them. They went to Knob Creek and picked that beer.
Pick that beer.
Yeah. It's just a really brown, non-carbonated beer.
They went there and they pointed at a barrel and said, "We want that one."
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to try it. Knob Creek is my favorite bourbon.
If you would like to give us some of your money, and I would like for you to, go to Patreon/BastardQuest.
Patreon.com/BastardQuest, and we got so much cool shit on there. There's not a ton.
But
There's
you
just
can
us.
get cool stuff.
We put at least one Patreon exclusive episode up every month, and I hope our Patreon subscribers enjoy that.
And you can get a shirt with my face on it, which is what's important.
That's what's up. Yeah, stickers and
Stuff.
Yeah, stickers.
Swag. But thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.